Hi, this is Michael K. Sahota. I got a special share for today. I just got off a call with Audrey, my co-trainer, with our CAL2 graduates from a Toronto class from back in June this summer. And I just want to share some of the highlights of what their insights were, what their key understandings of how to create shifts towards higher performance, how to have impact. So just to provide some context for this, the CAL2 people, this is our Advanced Culture and Leadership training. It builds on our CAL1. It's really a deep exploration of how we're showing up as leaders and how to very directly impact organizational change and shifts. So what are the key insights that our graduates came up with? Probably one comment that was there throughout that really clarified the work that we do, that we help people with, managers, coaches, is a different lens to see the world. It's a way to see things that were there the whole time but haven't been visible before. One participant said it's like on a journey to be less blind, and that's how a lot of people feel, is that once they've attended our work and start applying this, they start seeing things they've never seen before that allow them to find actual solutions that work, actual ways to be successful and have impact. Now, one thing that ties in with this is someone said, well, really the big understanding they have is to meet people where they are. Meet teams where they are, meet management where they are. And if we think about what's the alternative to that? Well, the alternative is our business as usual, where we go in with our biases, our viewpoints of what we want, what we think is important, and not actually be fully aware of what other people want, what they need. That's why when we go through our training, like listening to ourselves, listening to others, listening to what we call the voice of the system is so important for actually succeeding and influencing anyone else to create environments where there is a significant impact and results. And another participant said, well, actually, and I identify this as a logic error. It's actually the way our minds are constructed and designed, is that we make the mistake, we make the logical error of believing everybody else wants what we want. And the truth of it is everyone's different and people want different things. So when we project and say, oh, well, everyone wants what I want, why aren't they cooperating with me? Why aren't they agreeing with me? Well, it's because they don't. People want different things. And it's only when we stop and listen to them that we can actually discover what they really want. And when we do that, then it actually creates a place for finding common ground for forward movement. The other insight that came from one person, which characterizes the error that people are making with business as usual before they start applying some of the teachings we give them, is that people see what we see. And if you think about it, if you're listening to this, you probably can actually see a lot more than other people around you. You might even be exquisitely aware of what the challenges in the system are and even have really good ideas of how to improve it. And often we assume that other people can see what we see and we don't understand why they're not responding. And oftentimes it's because they actually don't see. That's why it's so important to start where people are, to notice where they are, what they believe, what they want, what they desire, really listen to them to understand that. And from that place, we'll have a much better sense of how to take action, how to interact with them, how to influence them, and so on. And of course, what we saw in pretty much every single participant reporting on how they've been applying these teachings the last 6 months is this deep applications of the core teachings that we have in our training. Probably the most profound of which is, as a leader, that we need to go first. As a manager, as a coach, we need to model the changes. We can't really ask anyone else to do something that we're not doing ourselves. Well, we can, but it doesn't actually work. We actually need to show up the way we want to show up, and we can have the greatest impact by modeling the work. And part of that, in order to achieve that, which our graduates went into, was having a very high sense of self-awareness, like really listening to themselves. So being aware of not only what state they're in during the day, and when they're not resourced, when they're not fully able to respond with all their intelligence capabilities and so on, but actively doing work to ensure that they're in a highly resourced state most or if not all of the day. And what we saw is that the people who are succeeding more with this were undertaking practices like meditation, emotional clearing, and things that we help guide them in as practices that they can undertake to put themselves into a more resourceful place throughout the whole day. And if you think about it, if we're not fully resourced, how can we even begin to help anyone else? Yeah, so that's those are the top highlights. It was actually for us, it was very inspiring. It was also inspiring for all the participants to see everyone else on this learning journey, on this growth journey, and to know for all of them that it's not an ending thing. It's not like, oh, hey, I made it, I'm there. It's actually a lifelong journey towards learning, towards growing, towards improving how we show up, so we can have greater and greater levels of impact. And really, that's the beauty of the whole thing, that everyone on the call is an awareness of, that each step they take, every shift they make in their own being and how they're showing up, they can see the impact in the world around them, in the other people, the conversations, the overall results. And actually, one more final thing I'll share, which is that what happens is that a number of people have gotten very clear and able to really listen to what's happening around them. And out of that, some of them were able to help the system identify that they wanted to grow, and then there were extraordinary results. Some of them got the clarity that some of the systems just don't want to grow, and from a place of peace, of calm, decided to move on to a different environment, which is very different from, what we call a rage quit, or saying, oh, I'm fed up with it here, I'm going to go somewhere else. No. What we're seeing with our graduates is very different. It's saying, oh, well, this system wants this sort of outcome. It wants to function this way. And I'm clear. I'm not in a charge around it. I'm clear on what it wants, and I actually want something different. I actually want to create and support it, growth towards a different kind of environment, a higher performance environment. And out of that, sometimes having the clarity to go. Yeah. So what we invite you to do, every one of you, if you're listening to this, is just think about how you're showing up for work. Think about how much of the time during the day you're in a resourced, capable place, how much of the time you're really aware of what everybody else wants, how much of the time you're aware of what's going on for the people around you, not only what they want, but what their awareness of what the current situation is. And if you do that, hope you get great results out of it. That's certainly helped our graduates be successful. Good luck, whether you're working on agile, digital, innovation programs. It doesn't really matter. All this stuff works for all of the above. And thanks so much, everyone. Have a great day.